The Nissan Navara PRO-4X is powered by a 2.3-liter twin-turbocharged 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine and a 6-speed manual transmission, but our test car comes with the optional 7-speed automatic for a starting price of $60,630. The 2022 Nissan Navara PRO-4X is a variant of the popular STX that has a few distinct features to it, some of which are additional and others of which replace current STX features. With black as the focal point, this model adds 17-inch PRO-4X black alloy wheels with Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires and a full-size steel spare, a dark double-tube stainless steel sports bar with sail panels, along with black wheel arch flares, roof rails, door handles, door mirrors. The seats are covered in unique floor mats with embroidered PRO-4X logos, while the interior is outfitted with leather-accented seats and contrasting stitching. The more powerful Navara dual cab is equipped with a greater minimum 1-ton payload rating, so the PRO-4X benefits from brake and rear axle improvements required to match. The 2022 Nissan Navara off-roader has a turning circle of 12.5 meters, 224 millimeters of unladen ground clearance, 600 millimeters depth for weighting, and a 32 degrees approach angle, 22.9 degrees ramp breakover and 19.8 degrees departure angles as standard equipment. Overall, the PRO-4X is a stunning package, owing to Navara's recent strong design language, which is clearly influenced by Nissan's Titan full-size US pickup. With contrasting white and red stitching in its leather-accented seating, a nice combination of chrome, satin chrome, and textured hard surfaces throughout the cabin, the Nissan Navara interior has the premium look and feel you'd expect. The driver's seat, although high for tall persons, is supportive and pleasant. Rear seat headroom and shoulder room are insufficient for 3 adults. A more apparent and defined driver's left footrest would be appreciated. The YS23 DDTT 2.3-liter turbo diesel engine from Nissan produces 140 kilowatts of power at 3750 RPM and 450 Nm of peak torque between 1500 and 2500 RPM. The 1.6-liter 4-cylinder engine, with its pair of inline sequential turbochargers, offers excellent lag-free throttle response and is among the finest engines in the 4X4 dual cab UTA class. The smooth-shifting 7-speed torque converter automatic, which intelligently downshifts during driving, is both competent and elegant. 2022 Navara has 4 drive modes, each with its own set of characteristics: normal, sport, off-road, and towing. The overdriven 6th and 7th gears improve highway fuel efficiency, while the manual sequential shift function may be beneficial off-road and particularly useful when hauling or towing big loads in hilly areas. The 2022 Nissan Navara 4X4's transmission is a dual-range part-time gearbox with shift-on-the-fly automated 4X4 engagement up to 100 km/h and 2.7:1 low-range reduction. There's also an electronic rear diff lock, which engages when you lift off the throttle at highway speeds. According to Nissan, the truck's official combined mileage is 8.1 L/100 km, with the dashboard display indicating 9.3 at the end of our trip, which covered about 300 kilometers and included around 1/3 of that distance carrying a nearly maximum load. According to our estimates, determined from the trip meter and petrol pump, our own figure was greater than 10.4 for the 5th time in a row, which translates into a real-world driving range of about 770 kilometers from its 80-liter tank. Each of the front doors includes a large bottle holder and storage bin, as well as a single glove box and an overhead glasses holder. There is an open storage cubby at the front of the center console, with 2 tiny bottle/cup holders in the center and a small lidded box at the rear. Rear passengers in the Navara enjoy a big bottle holder and a smaller storage bin in each door, as well as fold-down center armrests with 2 small bottle/cup holders. For additional internal cargo capacity, The rear seat's base cushion may be moved up 90 degrees and stored vertically. The load tub is 519 mm deep and has a 1,509 mm floor length that is somewhat shorter than its 1,560 mm width. If you have a standard Aussie or Euro pallet, the 2022 Nissan Navara won't fit, like most dual-cab trucks, but there are several tie-down alternatives available, including 4 fixed load anchorages at ground level and 2-channel slide-adjustable system for larger loads. The 2,146 kg curb weight and 3,150 kg GVWR translate to a genuine 1-ton plus payload of 1,004 kg. It's also capable of towing up to 3,500 kg of brake trailer, which is class benchmark for the category. However, if you were to tow that weight and not go over the GCM, you'd have to reduce your payload by a stunning 740 pounds, leaving only 264 pounds to play with. Fortunately, most 4x4 dual-cab trucks don't need to tow more than 3,500 kilograms, so a more practical compromise would be to set the maximum towing limit at 3,150 kilograms, which would cut the maximum tow rating from 3,500 kilograms to 2,760 kilograms. The big twin-turbo diesel engine provides excellent performance, making city and suburban driving a breeze. In these areas, when lights change green or when finding gaps in heavy traffic, it's particularly responsive in the 40-80 km/h speed range. The 7-speed gearbox allows for low-stressed engine operation at highway speeds, with only 1750 RPM at 100 km/h and 2000 RPM at 110 km/h. These revs are also where torque and throttle response are at their peak. A smooth, unladen ride quality is achieved thanks to the 4-coil suspension and 17-inch wheels. It also has low engine and tire noise at speeds of up to 110 km/h. Finding a comfortable driving posture is not difficult, especially for taller individuals who may find the seat base cushions a little short for adequate underthigh support. There's no lumbar support adjustment, but we never needed one because the front seat backrests are very supportive in that region. Fairly decent, all things considered. We loaded 830 kilograms into the load tub, which was just 74 kilograms shy of the limit. Under this loading, the rear suspension compressed 65 mm, leaving about 40 mm of ample distance between the chassis rails and axle bump stops. On past 2022 Navara tests with complete payloads, the coil spring rear suspension has used up all of its travel sitting motionless, largely depending on its rubber bump stops to support the weight when driving. Even with the latest version, the Nissan Juke still has a tendency to bottom out when carrying hefty loads. At 6,000 RPM, the engine's ample 450 Nm of torque made light work of hauling this near maximum payload to the summit in 4th gear, at 2,000 RPM, which was bang in the middle of its peak torque zone on our 13% gradient 2.0 km long set climb at 60 km/h. At those engine speeds, it required so little throttle that acceleration was readily available on request. The gearbox didn't care about the hefty weight that was strapped in the load tub, not only when climbing but also while descends, where its engine braking in a manually chosen second gear was equally powerful. It drives like a larger engine,